Hey guys, welcome back. This is pretty cool, and I don't know how no one mentioned it to me. I'm still looking for the Squirtle, but I made it. I made it into Time magazine. That's pretty wild. I know a lot of the Blake stuff. There was a lot of news articles and everything else. It's like New York Post and stuff like that. But yeah, I did not know. I did not think that it would come. The day would come that we're mentioned in Time magazine. Pretty honored. Unfortunately, there are a lot of details that are not quite in their entirety or very correct. So heads up, I didn't talk to anyone at Time magazine, but if I did, this is kind of the video. This is the conversation I would have had with them. These are the corrections I would have made to what they put in there. But regardless, very honored to even to get in there. Thank you to Wailord for noticing. These have been out for a little while now. Somehow, no one was like, "Hey, Rattle, by the way, they mentioned your name in there." I mean, it's largely to do with the Blake stuff, but let's see what's going on. So it's basically the investing in trading cards section, because you gotta mention the sketchies. We're gonna go through the entire article here, and we're going to throw in some corrections. So here it is. Actually, before we do that, we should probably hit the old disclaimer. Disclaimer, guys. Pause it, read it if you need to. Remember, this is all my opinion. Sharing with you guys my opinion and nothing else. If you've been considering getting into buying and selling of Pokemon cards, maybe the first thing to understand is that this is not the most sober of investment communities. Consider that the most expensive card ever was bought by wrestler/YouTube star Logan Paul, who celebrated his acquisition by wearing that card, a rare 1998 Pikachu Illustrator card that had been graded at a perfect 10 by professional sports authenticators, on a chain around his neck as he made his ring entrance at WrestleMania in 2022. He had bought the card for $5.275 million. Man, I hate when this is quoted everywhere in existence, because it wasn't. It was a partial trade, and not to mention the fact that I would never trust any dollar value. That's just me. You trust whatever you want to trust, but any trade value, dollar value, after what I've learned with the fake case stuff, I don't trust any number that Logan Paul pulls out of his butt. $4 million in cash plus trading in a grade 9 version of the same card valued at $1.275 million. So a lot of times everyone's like, "Oh, it's world record. It's the biggest purchase for a Pokemon card ever." But again, I don't trust the number, even if we take into consideration that it was a partial trade. I'm not buying it. I don't buy it. Should you buy it? No, probably not. Even if there was that much money that went into it, did it all come from him? Did it come from maybe somewhere else? Maybe some liquid marketplace? I don't know. Do you know? No one will ever know. I don't know. Well, I guess Logan would know. In short, especially at its top end, the Pokemon card market can be a little weird, but it has measured and sophisticated side as well. Go to a website like tcgfish.com and you can research cards the same way you would stocks with charts track. I personally would, again, you guys do what you want to do, but I personally would not go to TCG because, well, we'll find out in a second here. First off, we're going to talk about the Logan Illustrator. If you haven't watched this video, that is that's the PSA 10 Illustrator there in the pizza box next to the garlic dip from Papa John's and the hot pepper. Does anyone eat the hot pepper? Gotta ask again. Regardless, this thing was regraded. I wasn't able to find out how many times it was regraded, but it was regraded many times. Resubmit to PSA many times until it got a 10. For some reason, Logan doesn't want to show us the back of it. No one wants to really show us the back of it. I would love to see the back of it. Can we see the back of it? Can we see some high-def scans, please? Essentially, at this point in time, PSA, again, in my opinion, didn't really give two craps about Pokemon cards. So this thing was sub $10, just submitted over and over again. There was no like, oh, you got to pay $60 billion to resubmit this thing. There was no cataloging, apparently, that they could just say like, hey, look, the holo pattern on this thing is the same. We gave it a 9 before. Maybe it should keep getting a 9. No, it eventually got a 10. And voila, that's where you have it. It's a very controversial card because that's just it. It's just like, does it really deserve a 10, or was it just forced through so many times that it got a 10? And again, spoiler alert, we're going to get into it, and I have covered in other videos, but it essentially was a replacement for Liquid Marketplace, in my opinion. Again, all in my opinion, for the fake case. Years, and most of them followed the same pattern, a massive spike in late 2020. followed by a steep fall, eventually finding a level that is still higher than the pre-pandemic price. Considering how much there is for a collector to keep track of, it's easy to understand why Pokemon trading card expert Scott Pratt says the person most likely to do well as an investor is a true fan. It's something you have to do genuinely. You have to genuinely enjoy, he says. If you don't, you're always going to be one step behind the market. When a card or category shifts in value, you won't understand why. Pratt, who hosts a popular YouTube show under the name SM Pratt, also runs an eBay site with 16,000 card sales. I don't know what that's. It must be 16,000 total sales, maybe. His most expensive listing is a $4 million Pikachu, graded at PSA 9, that he bought 12 years ago at an undisclosed price. So a lot of the listings that you see on eBay, like the really high listings, are mostly people just trying to like show off what they got. They're not necessarily selling it. I'm assuming that they're talking about a PSA 9 Illustrator here. I should have looked it up beforehand, but I didn't. You guys let me know down below what that is. Traditional auction sites like eBay host a robust Pokemon card trade, but if you want a taste of the edgier side of the business, head to Whatnot. Please do not head to Whatnot. Please don't. Alive. Do you want to taste some edge? Do you want someone to edge in your mouth? Head to Whatnot, a live auction site where visitors can pop into thousands of Pokemon live streams going on all at once and participate in card auctions, some of which are as short as 5 seconds, or you can buy into what are known as box breaks, where you purchase a share. All right, so mandatory reminder that Whatnot has not refunded everyone who was allegedly, but according to them, enough of it, they were scammed. According to Whatnot, because Whatnot did get rid of Blake, again, somebody that was in their advertising, someone that was heavily promoted on the platform, someone that was supposed to be the poster child of the platform. They loved him. They had him. They got rid of him. I mean, we have many, many incidents, all covered in the series that I do have on that, but this is disappointing. This is the most disappointed I think I've been in a company, maybe ever. Them saying that they have refunded all the buyers impacted by infractions was a lie. They did not. At this point, I don't think they refunded anyone. And then also in the same statement, they're saying if you believe you were affected by an incident, please submit details here. And they got like a Google Doc where you get to submit an evidence form. You have to tell them this was extremely difficult. They were stubborn with it. It should have been a blanket refund all, because pretty much everything, whether you have the footage or not, pretty much everything, you have to kind of assume that there was shady business going on. Whether or not somebody got directly scanned, whether or not they were going to guess the right energy and they got swapped off, the entire thing just should have been a blanket refund. It's not like Whatnot is hurting in the monetary department, because they have all kinds of money to spend on advertising. You see now they're chasing every YouTuber, saying, hey, we'll give you some money and you can give some stuff out for free if you come on to Whatnot. Come on to Whatnot. Or the like Christmas crap that they gave out. They gave out a bunch of product to creators on the platform, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I think the priority should have been refunding and making everything right for the people that were impacted by the Blake dealings. And yeah, they did. They didn't fix it the way they should have. I mean, there's still one of the people that was doing the same energy shenanigans. Lou Skilla is still on the platform, which is absolutely wild to me. There seemingly are no repercussions to any of the management or to Craig, who was and probably still is Blake's BFF for life. So embarrassing. Share of a card pack that is opened live on camera. Whatnot is a place not only to buy and sell cards, but also get dopamine rushes and instant online community. So you notice here, that's a really weird way to word online gambling, unregulated online gambling, because it is that the dopamine part? We're not going to call it gambling. We're going to call it dopamine. You can't like guess the energy. I mean, they got rid of some of the gambling, but as we've seen, they got the pick the card and see if you win. Do you win the thing if you pick the right card? And then you have a magician, a trained magician who is sticking cards to one another so that you never guess the right one. And it's never ending. I don't know when they're going to learn it. Maybe they don't want to learn it, but the gambling aspect that's on there just needs to not exist. They also need to vet their sellers. I would say, personally, if I had a Whatnot style platform, I'd be doing criminal background checks. From my knowledge, they do not do those. but I would think that would be a good place to start. Again, that's the thing. They profit off volume. They're even going to go in here and they're going to brag about how many cards they sell, because they make money based on how many transactions happen and how large those transactions are. So do they turn a blind eye? Are they enforcing it as hard as they should be? I mean, there's instances where people have just straight up ripped off users, customers, and they don't get permanently banned. To me, I would think that you would want to keep your reputation clean, to the point that and no, it's not an excuse. It's like, oh, well, yeah, just go to the sellers that aren't scamming you. No, that's not how it should work. And no, not everyone should be super savvy to the extreme to, go research the fact that someone's a trained magician, or like watch hours and hours of footage to find out that, oh yeah, those energies are mappable. Damn, that's crazy. Whatnot launched in December 2019, 4 months before the COVID-19 lockdown, and Pokemon cards were the second specialized category the site featured after Funko dolls. Does anyone refer to them as Funko dolls? Because I'm going to start calling them that, Funko dolls, from now on. Well, the site has expanded into many other categories. Eric Shemtov, Whatnot's GM of cards, says Pokemon is still a mainstay. We average selling a card every second, he says. Yeah, so you see where the emphasis is there. Like, not safety necessarily. I mean, we're going to talk about safety, but also Eric, if you'd like to have a sit-down conversation, I personally will never buy or sell anything on the platform. Personally, I think it's gross. Just the amount of bad stuff that's going on there. Again, if I truly, honestly believe that if I wanted to, and if for some reason I wanted to put myself through the pain that is Whatnot, could make a video every single day about somebody scamming on there. It's that bad. There's just that much of it. It's bad enough that in the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. We have a separate channel because there was just too much like Whatnot going on. So we made a channel called Whatnot Garbage Fire, so that it wasn't just the entire general chat just flooded with Whatnot stuff. Whatnot also provided the backdrop for the cautionary tale of Blake Martinez. The former NFL linebacker made headlines in 2022 when he left football to sell Pokemon cards through a company he started called Blake's Breaks, and he claimed $11.5 million revenue in under a year. So this whole like $11.5 million thing, it's weird to me. I can't imagine that's like not including expenses, if it's even a real number. It's just one of those things where like someone got a number and then it just kept getting repeated over and over again. And maybe some of it got lost in that respect. It was a sensational story that opened eyes to how much money there was to be made in this world. I loved football, but what I found out was I loved building and running my own team even more. Martinez told The Athletic in July 2023, but his story took a dark turn when Whatnot decided to ban Blake's Breaks from its site in August 2023 following its investigation into a series of accusations that the company was rigging auctions and not always fulfilling orders. Again, they're going to say rigging auctions, but it was rigged gambling. It was rigged gambling. Maybe they didn't want to get that deep into it, but it was rigged gambling. Martinez returned to the NFL in November 2023. It was rigged gambling, allegedly. My apologies. So if you haven't watched it, I got 27 videos in this playlist. That is a lot of videos. It's a lot of Blake stuff. It's a lot of just gradual information coming out over time where, Blake burned a lot of people, and then also a lot of clips showing where the stuff was. I mean, after you figure out what a scam is, what the scam, the context of the scam is, or what they're doing, it's easier to look for more. It's easier to find more examples. And thank you very much to everyone that helps out, that watches through the just disgusting amount of footage, which is very hard to do so on the Whatnot platform. So heads up and warning about that. Now, Shemtop, while not getting into details of the Martinez case, I wonder why he wouldn't want to do that. Says Whatnot understands his business won't thrive if it is not perceived as credible, and so it takes steps such as requiring live interviews for new card sellers and guaranteeing box break purchases by value. Okay, like what is it gonna tell you to talk to somebody? Do you think the person doing a live interview is gonna be like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna rip people off really fucking bad? No, they're not gonna say that. If you buy into a box break and score a valuable card and then the seller never sends it to you, Whatnot will reimburse you for the value of the card, not simply your buy-in. I don't know how consistent that is, what's going on there exactly, but maybe, I don't know. Anything I've seen is like, a lot of the stuff I hear or see is people reached out to Whatnot Trust and Safety and they didn't resolve it. If they do resolve it, it's a pain in the ass. I mean, a lot of that, it's kind of like insurance or anything like that. Sure. But again, if that's the premise, if that's your selling feature, you better make sure it's damn good. And I don't think it is. Still, Pratt prefers the traditional marketplace of eBay. I think the Blake Martinez story captures Whatnot as a whole. He says it's a way to make money, but there's a sleazy shadow to it. Yeah, I don't even like the Facebook, even like the Verbank, even that stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's worth the time and effort. Even if you're always buying with some form of like buyer's protection, a lot of the times people are not going to. They're going to use your Venmos, your like PayPal, friends and family and stuff that you shouldn't use because they're going to try to save a few percentage on fees, and then they're going to get ripped off, and then they're going to send me a DM. They'll be like, hey, this guy just wiener babied my butt. So I don't know. The headache that's involved with a lot of that stuff, I do think that eBay is usually the best option in terms of like buyer protection. As a buyer, as a seller, it's pretty damn good. If you're not in the Discord and you're selling on eBay, you probably want to be in the Discord because you can post in the self-promotion channels there. We do it through eBay because it's safe. I mean, you'd have to be pretty dumb to try to scam people in the Rattle Discord, but at the same time, if it does happen, there's still that buyer protection that can be put in place through eBay. It's a good way for people to kind of build up their ability. If you're a new seller or anything like that, or for people that want to support each other, you can do that. It's just like a free resource. It's all through affiliate links, so it does support the channel as well at the same time. So much appreciated and very worth it. Post something interesting in there, and I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to get 1,000 extra eyeballs on it, because it'll be posted on Instagram, on Twitter, everything else. The Martinez case is far from the only example of malfeasance in the Pokemon market. YouTube host Rattle Pokemon, oh, that's me, is devoted entirely to exposing scammers. He has a multi-part series on Martinez. Oh my God, do I ever. And the mere fact that he has more than 2,400 videos about shady sellers is daunting. So there's probably more than 2,400 videos, but even the majority of them are not scammer videos. I mean, a lot of them are. I don't know how many scammer videos there would be, but there's a lot. But yeah, this is like, there's a ton of those like shorts, like crappy Pokemon openings and everything else that kind of makes that number look way bigger than it is. But again, time. Reach out. I could have cleared this stuff up for you. Would have taken 2 minutes. The most high-profile Pokemon scam involved our old friend Logan Paul. Now, as soon as I read this, I'm just like, damn it, man. The comments, I think the most painful comments are the like, oh, why don't you ask Logan Paul for help? Oh, Logan Paul owes you. Oh, Logan Paul does not owe me. Trust me when I say that he does not owe me. I do not believe that he owes me. I do not believe that he got scammed. He bought a sealed case of unopened cards that turned out to be fake with the boxes that, it's going to get into the G.I. Joe stuff, but a lot of people haven't. But please, for the love of God, if you got to watch anything to get caught up on this stuff, watch this one. This video right here is going to show you that the Logan Paul $3.5 million transaction never happened, according to Shine, who was the one that would have been on the selling end of that. It was going on to Liquid Marketplace, the fractional share platform, which happens to be kind of burning money. We got Ryan Bahadori here. He's buying stuff for the trophy wife. He's buying Porsches and everything else. And again, this is where remember that illustrator, everything kind of bakes itself into the same story here if we pan out far enough. So they're blowing money on stuff. The business is failing, but it seems like they're just spending investor money and money that people sunk into the platform. It seems pretty dead at this point in time. They kind of like keep on drawing it out and going on about it. But again, fake sale. I'm under the impression, this is my opinion, based on all of the research that I've done. If you want to watch all the videos, you can see why exactly. But I'm under the opinion that Logan Paul and everyone involved, the Poke Jew, we have Jacob, we have Jamil. I think they were all in on it. I think they all knew what was going on there. The BBCE, they got it wrapped up. It was going into a vault so they could sell fractional shares of it, crypto shares. I mean, remember, the tokens were never actually made for a lot of that stuff, including the PSA 10 Illustrator, until I made a video on it, and then they started making some of the ones that were missing. But it was meant for that. When that failed, we got to make up a new number. So that's why I'm saying I don't believe the large dollar value on the PSA 10 Illustrator. I think it was a large dollar value. There was motivation for it to be a larger dollar value than it was, and for it to have a Guinness record in order to make it seem sexy, because it was a replacement. So this is why I say Logan Paul does not owe me. He doesn't. I don't think he ever thought he owed me. If anything, if my assumptions are correct, I screwed over their plan with my videos because no one believed that the case was real anymore. They had to open it instead of putting it in a vault where they didn't have to sell enough of it that it ever gets opened. They could sell fractional shares on a thing that never gets opened, never gets taken out of the vault, whether it's in the vault or on Ryan's desk like some of the other items. And then Liquid Marketplace, I don't know if it was from the beginning, but it's looking, well, I mean, if the case was any indication of it, it seems like Liquid Marketplace might have been a scam from the beginning, in my opinion. So yeah, watch those two videos. And then also we have Logan Paul. I had some Prime show up, so that was kind of funny. And then also, I guess the just some other small details about Liquid and everything else. It's super interesting. It takes a wild turn, and a lot of people don't recognize this because they're like, we're marked Pokemon on the outside, actually full of packs of G.I. Joe cards. A silver lining for Paul, his YouTube video, I lost $3.5 million on fake Pokemon cards, has 7.5 million views. My God. I don't know if that makes up for the fact that that it kind of would have destroyed their plan, but between the potential for scams and the volatility of card prices, Pratt offers this advice for someone getting into the market. Don't spend what you're not willing to lose. That said, and taking all the warnings into account, there are people who make card investing work for them. Here's some tactical advice on how to approach it from Ryan Majeski, the author of Pokemon Cards, the unofficial Ultimate Collector's Guide. His first piece of counsel is this: sealed packs are the blue chip purchase for the long-term investors. Be careful with sealed stuff. Make sure you know where it's coming from. Again, even the appearance, the feel, whatever you want to do, you want to taste it, you want to smell it, Jacob style. Make sure that you know where it came from and that it's reputable. We saw it with the dumb money stuff. Please, guys, be careful with sealed product. Does it go up? Yes. Make sure you're getting it from somewhere that is reputable. I mean, here they're kind of talking about modern a lot, but by far the most profitable and lucrative way to invest in Pokemon cards is to collect sealed products. Majeski says, in my 20 plus years collecting, there hasn't been a sealed product that is worth less than MSRP after 5 years of official release. Right. I mean, there's a lot. That's the thing too. It's just like, yeah, most of everything is going to go up over time. Some of it's going to be pretty slow. Conversely, buying sealed packs is not the smart approach if your real interest is specific cards or characters. If you're trying to invest in individual cards, do not buy sealed products in the hopes of getting valuable cards, he says. Pull the trigger on cards shortly after they are released, within the first year or so, and hold them over time. I'm going to say this is bad advice in terms of if you're min-maxing. Do not do this. Typically, from what I've seen, I mean, outside of like weird trends where we had like pandemic stuff going on, usually whenever stuff is like a generation or two old, it's at its cheapest. So like, I mean, within the first year, shortly after they're released is kind of a bad move. So you have a lot of stuff that is playable. So it's going to be expensive because it's playable. And if it's in standard rotation, it's going to be playable. Typically stuff will kind of like, you have to know what's playable. If you're buying modern stuff after it's released, sure. Now, I think this is like talking about single cards, probably a bad idea. So right now, your like Sword and Shield stuff, you can see that it still went down. It's not like a year later. And again, it's not every single card, but for the most part, if you were doing sets and you're trying to min max, buy the singles. So maybe you buy your like Sword and Shield singles now, buy your like Sun and Moon singles. And yes, there's going to be like weird things that happen if certain thing was, well, I mean, even the tag teams and stuff like that, they kind of got out of control. A lot of those are dropping or have been dropping. But for the most part, look at your Sword and Shield, like your early Sword and Shield. That stuff is very cheap now. Among individual cards, he says, the surest investments are the most popular characters, Pikachu, Charizard, and also Eevee. Everyone loves Eevee because it is cute and it evolves into many evolutions, or many evolutions of differing types, water, fire, lightning, etc. Pratt offers the advice that older rare mints are the best, and he also says don't dive in headfirst to the super popular things right away. Give it time. So yeah, super popular. If it's something that everyone is chasing, there's probably a premium on the everyone chasing it kind of scenario. It just is what it is. And be careful. The reprints can absolutely pump you. Or reprints or weird releases. So like the Pikachu on the ball that was like $2,000 that went down to $10 because they all of a sudden decided to print more of them. Any of that stuff. Like if it's new, if it's everyone chasing it, just be pretty careful with it. Especially if you were like, this seems like your like investor advice. So is someone buying like 40 Pikachu on the balls at $2,000 a piece, and then all of a sudden they're $10 each? Like, there's danger there. And again, that's kind of where the don't think for a second that you or anyone else can predict what the Pokemon company is going to do. I mean, there's general scenarios, but there's a lot of risky things that you can avoid if you just know a little bit about it. As far as where to make your deals, Majeski says eBay will get the best prices for sellers, and tcgplayer.com is where to go to move a lot of the cards at the same time. He recommends checking out Facebook too. Either it's in its marketplace or in a group called Burbank City Pokemart, which has nearly 48,000 members. Personally, I think this is not worth the time and effort. The 48,000 members, my apologies, 48,000 members of Burbank, but you're not even a drop in the bucket compared to the visibility of eBay. People are going to be like, yeah, but then you got to pay eBay fees. I don't know. I think that the eBay, the time and effort and headaches that you're going to save yourself from not doing Facebook or Instagram sales and stuff like that, I think the eBay fees are pretty worth it. I think if you look at, all you have to do is look at a lot of the larger sellers, a lot of the people that have been around a long time. Where are they selling? eBay. Right? Who knows? Play these cards right, and maybe one day Logan Paul will be knocking at your door. Please, for the love of God, no. Logan, stop sending me Prime. It's gross, in my opinion. Please don't show up at my door. Oh my God! All right, that was a doozy. Thank you guys. Again, I'm sure that without all your eyeballs, all your shares, and support, wouldn't be here. Pretty wild stuff to be included in Time Magazine, whether it's a snippet, whether the details are perfect or not. Still pretty damn cool. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining the Discord, and I'll see you next time. Bye.